And there's a cameo from Cream the Rabbit, who I think at this time hadn't appeared in any of their games. She technically debuted in Sonic Mega Collection, but she really debuted. And her first, like, main series debut was in Sonic Heroes. But this was just a little cameo in between all of that. Anyways, real quick, I want to explain a few things in the Chow Garden, which I didn't get to. I mean, I'm probably going to do most of this in a post-commentary. But basically, I did a little bit of, my chat style to figure out what I want to evolve each of them into in this. And as you see, I got all of their stats except for stamina, because that's not really important, up to level 5, so I can determine what their best stats are. And I kind of like used it as a rough guide when I was deciding what to. Well, okay. First, let me explain that Chow evolve after a while. After 3 to 5 hours, approximately, in the garden, your Chow will undergo its first evolution. This evolution, what it evolves into, will be based on what you've been given it. What you've given it over the course of your time with it. And giving up. There's a more complex side to this, but I'm not going to explain that at the moment. Anyways, here's the easiest way to check your Chow stats is just to come in here to the Chow racing and look at them here. Speaking of Chow racing, I don't think I really have any of my guys high leveled enough to participate in the races, but I guess it might be worth a shot. Chow that can fly. As you see, there's one for each stat in this beginning section, because you unlock more after you beat these. Strong Chow. Chow that can swim. Okay, let's try the running one, since this is my guy with the highest run. Except there's not a running one. So I actually just lied there. I'm sorry. Forgive me. So we have strong and swim and fly. Okay, the highest fly stat is. I still need to give these guys names. I was supposed to do that last time, and I didn't. Let's see if I can get any luck with this, because I honestly don't know if I can or not. Yeah, this is kind of the beginning of how Chow races work. Okay. Yeah, we didn't really need to see. I probably could have skipped that. As you see, most Chow are just kind of sleeping, and then the gun is fired. Such violent imagery. And your Chow just kind of trudge along because they're not very. Okay, after you get your run stat to a certain point, your Chow will start to actually walk rather than crawl like this. There's a lot of little abilities like this that are based on Chow stats. Like for example, once you get your Chow's swim stat to level 100, it learns how to swim. Also, you can possibly make your Chow go a little bit faster with the A button. And in this game, there's no stamina gauge like there is in Sonic Adventure 2. Come on, man, I want to see my Chow. The game will try to show you all the other ones, but you can just kind of make random noises and cheer them on, and they might get a burst of speed. It's kind of weird in this game. You can also play other random noises. What the heck? That guy's way ahead of everyone else. Hold on, go back. What the heck? I have no idea what's going on. Oh, wow. You have to hear Sonic say that. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on. I'm just gonna be upfront about it. I think Chow 1 is mine, but I can't even tell at this point since all of them have like the same. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 1. Yeah, I don't think this is getting anywhere. Well, actually, I actually can't exit it. So, I'll come back to these later after I've gotten a bit more leveled up with my Chow Stats. But that's basically how these work. You just kind of watch your Chow and number 5 finished. Come on, you can finish 3rd. There's no real reward for doing this. It's kind of like the American election system, in which the only prize goes to first place. But I at least get to see my Chow up there on the pedestal, so that's nice. And hopefully by the time I get around to actually doing this, my Chow will be evolved and it'll look more distinct, so I can actually tell what's going on. Yeah, that's not all I'm gonna do in the Chow Garden for now. I'll kind of explain like what I'm gonna do off screen to these guys once I get access to more types of animals. Because at this point in the game, I actually don't have any power animals like available, which kind of sucks. I already got this thing, right? I'm assuming I already got this thing. Okay, just making sure. Alright, now enough scurrying around and not really accomplishing anything. And onward with what we're supposed to do. Now there's actually a field emblem like above you right now. Let me see. Is there any way I can possibly... I don't think there's any way I can show it, but basically you can't get it with Sonic. So just don't forget about it later. So, this ice stone looks like the wind stone that we got earlier. So, let's try taking it to the Mystic Ruins. Let's see what happens. Taking the ice stone to the Mystic Ruins will cause a spontaneous avalanche, which conveniently opens up the next level, which you need the ice stone to acquire. It's funny how that works, isn't it? This is kind of funky. I'm just floating. Anyway, whatever. Okay, so if you keep going along this hallway, you'll find a closed door, because you can't go this way yet. Your Sonic can go remarkably fast, even when he's carrying this big heavy stone. Look at this. He can even run on the walls with his quickness. Now that's true speed. Alright, and you go in here and hey, it's an ice place. I never would have expected that. And you actually can drown in this water if you dawdle around in it too long, so don't do that. I discovered, well, I mean, I already knew that, but I was like sitting in the pool in Station Square while I was running off screen, and suddenly I started hearing, and I was like, what the heck? Okay, here's a power animal, so I can actually like do the thing I need to do. So that's nice. Anyways, it brings you to this area. There's a few different ways you can go about doing this. You can come over here and do these things. And that leads you here. You can also, let's see here, what else is there? You can also come up here and get some stuff. That's always good to have. You can just kind of go into the spring, and here's another door. But I don't think this is actually where you need to go. This just kind of leads you to a place where you can traverse some icicles. And come up here. Is there anything else in this room? Yes, there is. I saw something. Okay, let me turn the free camera since auto camera can be annoying at sometimes. It's usually not a problem, but if you're doing certain things, it becomes one. And this rocket will lead you to what I believe that's the same place where all those glowy things led you. Now the fastest way to do this level is actually just to spring up to here and then spin dash jump off of this thing at an angle, and don't go the opposite way. That usually doesn't help. Anyway, spin dash off this thing at an angle and get straight up here without having to go to the other room. Although I guess using the numbers is pretty fast too, but that's the way I like to do it. And whoa, okay, and okay. Now the fastest way to get through this room is to do a little cheating and death. I kind of screwed that up, but you saw what I was trying to do there, right? I'm pretty sure you can do that if you set your heart and mind to it. But anyway, as for now, let's try to get back up. Okay, I need to stop screwing around. Thank you, Tails, for sacrificing yourself for the good of the nation. No. Alright, come on. Is this water? No, it's not water. Okay. It kind of looked like water, and there was a lot of that in this level, so that would make sense. Alright, now more boring icicle traversing. And there's an infinity sign made out of rings. Be careful not to fall. That'll be funny later. Anyway, here's where I was trying to jump to at the very beginning. You may not actually be able to do that, and I may just be stupid. Anyways, go up here, there's a checkpoint, and once you get this high, you probably don't want to fall off. So heed Tickle's advice and be careful not to fall. Oh, wait, secret. Gotta get the thing. Okay. Onwards we go. What's this? It's an avalanche. And now Sonic is suddenly on a snowboard. And Tails is too. I don't know where he is though. Or, actually no, Tails isn't here. He just kinda flew off, I guess. This is a section which you're probably going to be seeing many times later in the game if you do mission mode. I'm just going to warn you of that right now. But as for now, just have fun in the carefree snowboarding section. One thing that's kind of interesting about this game, as opposed to most Sonic games, that there's a lot of these like big cinematic set pieces that like kind of like the game makers. It's like the game makers really wanted to make it feel like an adventure, you know. a Sonic adventure, because that's the name of the type game. Okay, no, I'll stop being whatever word describes what else it's doing. Like, due to this, it can kind of be a bit awkward gameplay-wise at the sudden, like, silent interruptions, because it doesn't really flow seamlessly together. But it's also kind of cool in a way. Anyway, Sonic just kind of crashes headfirst into these icicles without any kind of, you know, pain being felt by this action. And if you do this correctly, you can be all cool and stuff, and fly all the way to the Chaos Emerald. And we have found it. It's the fourth Chaos Emerald that we have found. Because it's the fourth level, and it has a Chaos Emerald at the... Okay, now I'll shut up.
Yeah, not bad.
So, strangely, there is not a cutscene or anything after... Well, I guess that's not that strange. There's... So far, half of the levels have had cutscenes after them, and half have not. So, where to go next? We don't really have any leads in the Chaos Emeralds. So, let's just come down here and derpy. Hey, look, it's Knuckles!
What's up, Knuckles? Something bugging you? No time for games, Sonic. Give me the emeralds you have, right now. What? Let's just see you take them. Huh.
Alright, so this is the best boss fight in the whole game.
Oh no.
It's over. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah. Knuckles' reaction to that is pretty funny. And also, all you really have to do is just hit him. Okay, I'll stop talking to the cutscene.
Eggman. Oh,
Like taking candy from a baby.
that's a Chaos Emerald.
That's right, fool! You made it all too easy! You practically gave them to me.
Hold it right there, creep. You can't get away with this. Knuckles, don't tell me Eggman tricked you again. Me? What about you? Way to go, Knucklehead.
Now I have 4 lovely emeralds! Chaos! These are for you, my friend!
Ah! He transformed again!
Man, no one ever cuts us any slack.
Alright, so here we are, the second boss fight. Chaos 4. Now, if you haven't picked up on this yet, the purpose of this monster is that every time it gets a Chaos Emerald, it gets more and more powerful and has these bigger and tougher forms. And we never get to see Chaos 3. We saw Chaos 2 very briefly there. That's what Eggman gave it after taking the one from Casinopolis. And we saw 0 obviously, and 1 very briefly. And I think more forms of chaos are shown in the TV show Sonic X, because Sonic X has 6 episodes that are devoted to kind of recapping the plotline of Sonic Adventure, except like with the characters from the show, like Chris and Mr. Tanaka and everyone, kind of like thrown into the mix. And there's another 6 episodes right after that that deal with Sonic Adventure 2's plot. And then it's been suggested that Season 3 has like elements of Sonic Heroes and Shadow the Hedgehog, but it's not nearly as direct an adaptation. Especially with Sonic Heroes, like Metal Sonic never appears in the show. Oops, I just spoiled it. Oops, I just died. Alright, this is a little brief snapshot of how I usually do this boss if I'm not talking over it. Because usually when I'm talking over it, I do things a bit differently because I'm not quite as focused. Alright, now I'm pretty much back to where I was. I just need to not get completely gangbanged by the balls of doom. Oh, what was that? He's going all physical on me. Okay, come on, get back over. Okay, you can't hit him when he has to be like sitting there doing nothing for you to hit him. Which raises the question of why he does that to begin with. But it's a video game, who cares? Honestly, the level of intelligence Eggman showed when he knocked out Sonic and Tails and took the Chaos Emerald is very unusual for a video game alone. So that's kind of special on its own. So I guess I shouldn't expect too much. Da, 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 da. This place is kind of weird how Sonic can just kind of jump off the water, but you know what? I'm not gonna argue with that.
Behold my floating masterpiece, the Egg Carrier! But it pales in comparison to the power of chaos. Adieu, until we meet again, my friends!
Okay, I just want to make a quick note. Remember that line he said about it pales in comparison to the power of chaos? It'll be...
Hey, we can't let him
yeah.
get away. Let's get to my workshop and we'll take the tornado.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys go. I have some unfinished business to take care of. No problem, Knuckles. We'll take care of everything here.
Come on, let's get going.
Alright, so now we can play as Knuckles. And off we go up here. Why is there an invisible wall there? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, enough screwing around. Let's actually get to this. And this is Knuckles' unfinished business. Making sure to keep, watch over this butterfly. Actually, is that what that is?
What's the matter? What are you waiting for?
Well, what are you waiting for? Yeah, so Knuckles gets mad at us for disturbing his butterfly watching. So let's just go off and... Okay, real quick here, I'm gonna take some time to kind of explain how Chow Evolution works. This is a very useful little site called Chow Island. And basically the reason I wanted to tell like which of my Chow stats were generally the highest was because of I kind of want to capitalize on whatever the Chow's best stat is for the purposes of this. Okay, so here's the names I gave to the Chow. This kind of what's the word? Provisional names, because I haven't thought of like actually good ones yet. Here I have the average level up, or average stat boost per level up of each stat on each Chow I have right now. So, and also have next to it what type I want, what stat I want to evolve them in. Because it's not, I don't have all of these based on what their highest stats are, because I wanted to like have one of each, for example, so I could kind of show off how they all look, which is also why I have them all as neutral. I'll explain that in greater detail later. But yeah, basically here's how it works with evolution. Whenever your whenever your Chow has been, like, your game's been running and you've been in Chow Garden for 3 to 5 hours. So this doesn't work for when you're outside the Chow Garden. You have to be in the garden with the Chow, and your game is running for 3 to 5 hours. It depends on, like, the exact timing kind of depends on a few things, which I'll explain in the next episode, hopefully. Your Chow will go into a cocoon and evolve, and come out either looking pretty much exactly the same, or it could look a lot different. Let me show you, actually. It could look up like one of these guys, depending on, well, here's what it depends on. This is the slider that determines what type your Chow will evolve in. Basically, now there's 2 different sliders which contain all of the stats, and makes things a little bit tricky. Each animal from yellow, purple, green, red group shifts the relevant slider towards the appropriate direction by 0.1. So this is basically this slider. This over here on swim side is -1, and on the fly side is 1. And same thing for this. Well, if you give your Chow 6 swim animals, it goes to 0.6. And able to evolve, it has to be greater than the absolute value of 0.5, depending on which type you want to evolve it into. But it gets more complicated than that, because if you have your Chow as 0.6 on both fly and power, it will evolve into power type, because power and run both override fly. And similarly, if you have it on like 0.6 on run and swim, it will evolve into swim type, because swim type overrides everything. So the hierarchy is basically swim, and then run or power, and then flying. Which means that it's easiest to evolve your Chow into a swim type, and hardest to evolve your Chow into a fly type. So, basically, I prefer to, personally, wait until my Chow has undergone the first evolution before I start trying to max out stats. This is because the evolution will change your Chow's hard stat grades, which you can't see in this game, but they are there. Like your Chow have an A or a B all the way down to E, and the max is S. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, this explains it. It's E, D, C, B, A, S. And if you evolve a Chow into a swim type, so in other words, if you evolve into one of these guys, or if you evolve into a run type, the stat grade in that type will go up a little bit. So, that means that you will basically get the best bang for your buck when you're raising your Chow stats. So, if you haven't been keeping close track of what you've been giving your Chow, which if that's the case, you can just use this slider for yourself. If you know you haven't given your Chow any animals yet, you can just give it 6 of whatever animal you want it to evolve into, and it'll be that simple. However, if you've been giving it a mix and haven't really been keeping track, like I have, also note that blue animals, here let me show you. Blue animals raise your Chow stat and by 0.1 in a random direction. So if you've given it any of those, I would recommend just pretending you don't know where it is to be on the safe side rather than taking a guess. So the bottom line is, if you want your Chow to evolve into a swim type, just give it 10, well actually 20, because you technically don't know where it is on this slider. Give it 20 swim animals, and that's all you have to do. Because that way, even if it happens to be all the way on the right into fly, it will, after 20 animals, it'll be all the way to the left. And since swim overrides run and power, if you have that maxed out, it ensures that your Chow will evolve into a swim type. So that's pretty simple. Run and power are a bit more complicated, because I would recommend giving your Chow 10 fly types to make sure that it's either to normal or it's to the right of normal, which means if it's leaning in the fly direction, that will be overridden by this axis. So just give it 10 fly animals and put it in this section, and then give it 20 of either run or power, whichever one you want to evolve it into. That will max out this one, which will override the slider being in this one, and guarantee, assuming you don't tamper with it, that is, that it will evolve into run or power. Fly is the hardest. What I would do is I would give it, just if you want to be just absolutely sure, give it 20 run or power animals, and then give it 10 of the opposite type. This ensures that the slider for run and power will be right in the middle, so that it can't override fly. Although, if it's close to the middle, if it's greater than or equal to the absolute value of 0.5 on either side, then it won't override it anyway, because that's not enough influence to evolve into that type. But just to be safe, 20 in either run or power, then 10 of the opposite, and then 20 fly animals to max out its slider on this side. That's basically the simplest way to do things. And afterwards, you can start giving your Chow whatever animals you want willy-nilly, and it won't have any long-lasting effects. It won't have any irreversible effects on anything. Alright, that's basically all. This is a bit longer than I thought, so I'm probably going to edit it a bit. See you guys for the next episode.